Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, BootStrapp. Here we're playing Final Fantasy 3 once again. Game 3, Part 8. No, it actually be Part 9 because I did the last recording. So Part 9, let's just pick exactly where we left off. The party. Better. Let's go see if we can take down the Southwest boss. That'll give us a good little marker or gauge where we're at. We're not stopping. Not stopping until the game's done. See how that goes. 5,000 damage. We're doing pretty good. Dang, 1,000 health. Alright, so far we're doing some pretty good outpacing. How much health has he got? Meteor. Damn, he tried to kill you. Oh. Magic. Undergod. Cure. More important. Now we got him. Just in case. Could be a guy that pops out, that's about it. Yep. I am one with the warriors of dark. When the power of light or dark becomes too great, the cloud of darkness is created to return to the world. Void. Only the hope inherent in the forces of light and dark can stop it. Now go, warriors of light. I will assist my powers of dark. Warriors of light. Only you can restore the world of light. Blah blah blah. Same. Alright, we're halfway done now. Let's see if we're able to take on the other area. Very much doubt it, because the dragon's kind of whooping me. Okay, back. We'll do it. Oops. I'm gonna do that. Same setup as last. That hurts. It hurts a lot. I wonder if it's a high damage, low HP monster. Oh, you're dead. Not gaining any HP. Really trying to kill me. Kill the other guy! Fucking moron. You're getting stuck on holy now. Yeah, you deserve to die. You didn't heal the guy 3 fucking times. Bumper. Oh well. Alright, we're gonna do attack. Cure. Cure. Player. It'll take longer, but increase your odds of staying healed. Really? God. Never done a cure before. That's first. We may have to do more grinding. Just not doing that damage output. Alright, I'm gonna do this without the auto function. Everything by hand. I gotta kill my guy. Yeah, fuck you. Heal the other guy. Good lord. Oh my god, you guys are retarded. We need just holy magic. Fuck you guys. I want him to die. Good. Move my last attempt. I hate that it does that. That's such a bullshit mechanic. It should not protect him from a spell that I'm casting on my own guy. I barely saved him. And we're not ready for this. Back to the grindstone. Just a check with the dragon, but I'm pretty sure I'm not qualified for him. Healing is pointless in this game. Got it. We're gonna be grinding for so long. Like, it's just ridiculous amounts. Not even the fun kind. We're one-shotting them, and that's what we want. But the problem is that it's not enough in comparison to everything else, apparently. But it doesn't do as much damage. Got it. 100% stick with the flare. I'm getting so many back attacks. I'm actually kind of worried about the final boss. I feel like we might be in like the 60s or 70s level range. You know, in terms of Final Fantasy, I think we're about as far away from home as you can get and be gone for as long as we have been. It'd help if I turn the encounters back on. $1,800? That's insane. We know it's at least 4,300 health. Somewhere in there. Until everyone starts one-shotting them, I can't move on. I really can't. They have to get stronger. And with that, we just hit him with 8,000 500 something damage, and it's still not dead. That's, to me, that's insane. There's one issue Final Fantasy does have. It doesn't have a proper level creep, but maybe the later games. Because it just goes from not that, you know, powerful to just, why are you here? You're supposed to be 30 levels higher before you get here. I don't know, the Gatekeeper wasn't that strong. They always make the Gatekeeper as strong or a little bit less strong than what you're about to deal with on the inside. But it is what it is. It's early games. This one came out, original one came out, I believe, in either really, really late 1999 or really early 2000. Because the first game that this is based off of is Final Fantasy 1. And it came out like a long time ago. You know what? Let's do a little history. $1987 for Final Fantasy 1. Get another one going. $1988. So I was almost on point. This game released in 1990, and that was just when games didn't have proper play testing and whatnot. So there was a lot of stuff that it doesn't line up properly. You'll get like a really offset power creep. Like, the game devs want you to be in, like, level 60 and 70 to face the final boss, but you could beat majority of the game at level 40. That's the problem. Like, I got here relatively easily, relatively speaking. But like Final Fantasy 1, that was actually a pretty good power creep. It was just that last boss was really, really hard. And I almost beat the game like at level 42. Then I got to him and I got to face Chaos. I didn't get good enough to like, what, 56, 60 something? That is a massive level gap requirement. That's pretty substantial. Well, Final Fantasy 2, if I remember correctly, I went through a good portion of that game not even really trying. It was just more of being lost and knowing where to go to get certain items to progress the game. They did a lot better in this game, but I still had a walkthrough and my notes on the side just in case I got lost of where I needed to be. But it wasn't as bad. At least there was actual text dialogue to kind of guide you and point you where to go. So they're definitely learning on the mistakes they're making from previous games. You can tell it's just not there to the basic early 2000s standard. And I don't mean like the 2010, 2012 hand-holdy games where it's just like, oh, there's enemies this way, I gotta go this way. Or the modern stuff of yellow paint. Like how they make fun of, a lot of other YouTubers make fun of IGN and game journalists. And there's no yellow paint on the wall. How was I supposed to know to go this direction? Well, it's obvious. It's a corridor. Like, this path, obviously, look at the map. I want to get up to this upper left-hand corner because the arrow indicator means the stairs, which means, you know, the crystal is this way. I gotta go this way. oh, it's a boss room, the music changed. I should probably save right here, and now I gotta fight the boss. Now I beat the boss. Now I gotta use this as the checkpoint. After you do it, the first couple times, you figure it out pretty quickly. Especially between Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 3. I just think it's ridiculous how low standards have gotten on some things. Now, and I expect a certain standard of, okay, how was I supposed to know I need to go to this specific town or this specific area without them even mentioning it? And that's just, the appeal was to the games back in the day where gamers, and I understand to a certain extent as well, because I started with, the Game Boy Color and the N64, where one of my favorite games of all time, and I will resume playing at some point because I just dug it out of storage because of my new desk layout, is Donkey Kong N64. It was a open roam game that didn't really give you any clear direction on where to go. But once you beat the first world and beat the first boss and you unlock the first block, you now know, oh, okay, I need to explore and find these places and beat these different hubs or worlds, that we call them, and take care of those. That was before Pyro and Crash Bandicoot and all them, and that became norm of hub worlds. It just because you played a prior game, you now know how to do it, and there was still a certain level of expectation on a dev to create it in a certain manner. Sorry, one second, I want to make sure I'm actually doing this right. Yep. We're making it for the old players. We're also trying to make it friendly enough for new players to know where to go. Final Fantasy III had a nice little mix of that. I feel like it still needed a little bit more for people to understand what's going on, but for 1990, that's pretty par. That's pretty on point of what it was expected during that time period. When you hit 1999, 1994 to 1996, it became a little bit more expected to be like, okay, here's a little video tutorial and whatnot. Donkey Kong did that pretty well. Like when you enter a world, it gave you a quick, camera pan of the whole world of, okay, this is what you gotta kind of expect, this is what you gotta be. And they did the same with Banjo-Kazooie and all that. Oh, my guy's upset. Hopefully he doesn't get hit. Now, for how much I hate modern Pokemon, especially the way, the layout, the story, it's just so handholdy, it's so bland and whatnot. But if you go back to, Game Boy Color to Game Boy Advance to early Nintendo DS, it wasn't like that. It was okay, you look at a map, you understand you gotta get to the towns, you gotta go a certain direction. There's not really much deviation you could do. You can go up to a forest and whatnot, but not really much is there except for rewarding you for exploration. But if we go into more modern games like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, they're very straightforward games. Got a direction, you go the direction, it's pretty straightforward. They're like, corridors and hallways. There's not really much exploration you can do besides finding a chest or killing mobs or getting killed by mobs, which is more often than not. Then you go to Elden Ring. There really isn't too much hand-holding there because it's expected you to explore. It doesn't want you to take a very specific path, except for the Light of Grace. Damn it! Everything's good. No. It's all there. When you go to a Light of Grace, and click on it, it will show light drifting towards the next thing you're supposed to go to. That game, it actually rewards you for exploring, because I try to play it like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, the way I was conditioned to play them. and I couldn't beat the first fortress to save my life. And then when my friends explained to me that you don't need to play it like that, you need to actually go somewhere else. That circles back to how Final Fantasy is in their later installations. More rewarded for exploring, finding things, doing that. And I'm trying to get back to that mindset of this is what the game wants and expects of me. But I still want the bare minimum requirement of, okay, I'm going and exploring stuff, but I still would like to know where I'm supposed to go next. Because some of the stuff is really obscure on the matter. Like if you go to Final Fantasy 1, I didn't know I had to find this specific key in this specific area that this specific guy dropped if I exhausted all of his dialogue and then had to fight the boss in a very particular manner to get the key, to go use the key to unlock a certain cellar in a certain castle in a certain area, to get a dynamite, to go over to then these guys and have talked to this specific NPC, use the dynamite to unlock the hole in the wall so I can use the ship to get in the outer area, to then go somewhere else. It's just like, come on, man. Like, that is just absurd obscurity that it's not even funny. That's why for every single game, I've been having notes on my side of like, I'll only look at it if I need to know where I need to go. That's just, that's the bare minimum that I expect that I wish the game would give me. And then some people will come and defend the game of like, oh, it's just because you didn't take the time to talk to every single NPC of every single area, blah, 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 of every facet of the game. No, I don't have that kind of time. I'm 31 now, and I want to play the game and enjoy the game to at least get the general gist of what is it like to be a Final Fantasy fan. What's the enjoyment, the rarity, and whatnot. And I understand a lot of that is post-game. You can't really enjoy that unless you actually beat the game and then go back and then find the extra stuff that's hidden there. And where I can relate to that is the Mega Man Network games, which they did bring to Steam. And I do have some of it recorded. I just put it on the back burner because I want to play this game because I hear it's a lot of fun. A lot of people really enjoy games. But a lot of people say, well, the first 6 games are not the true embodiment of modern Final Fantasy. I can see that. This is more RPG aspect. It's all about the numbers. All about pushing out as much damage as humanly possible. But the problem with that is that you get hit with ridiculous level hurdles that make no sense. But if you go to more of the modern Final Fantasy games, I'm going to expect or assume that when I get hit with a really, really tough enemy that's blocking a doorway, I'm going to assume, okay, I'm not supposed to come this way yet. I'm supposed to go somewhere else. I'm going to treat it more of like an exploration game instead of a Pokemon style, or Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3 style of a specific corridor and a fork in the road. Okay, I go left, I get smacked really bad, and I get my, knocked on my ass, basically. Okay, I'll come back to the fork in the road, go right. All these guys are exceptionally easier. Obviously, I'm supposed to go right, do that, and then come back and then go left. That just makes sense. That's common game design. Sorry for the long rant, but I'm trying to lay out what was I expecting for my years and years and years of gameplay and experience. 5,000 damage, nice. Where we at? One of them's about to level up, one of them's kind of getting closer. Oh wow, I got 1.4 million. Got all the money in the world and nothing to spend it on. To give an example of more modern games of where it just makes sense to certain stuff, like Space Marine 1 and 2. They got that game niched down in a perfect style of, got your map, tells you kind of where to go, but not like super detailed. Okay, I go this way. Oh, there's enemies this way. Alright, I'll keep going this way. oh, the camera snapped this way? Okay, it wants me to go this way. I feel like it's a little too hand-holdy, but it's super straightforward and to the point, and it shouldn't have to take too long to explain where you're supposed to go. It's supposed to be basically a murder bloodbath fest game. That's what they are, 1 and 2. But with, you know, lore mixed in, with their own cinematic story. And that's the type of games they are. And that's what you should expect from them, and it should not change from the norm beyond that. And they're beating up on my mage. There are some games out there you have to have a wiki. You have to have a walkthrough. You have to have stuff explained because a lot of stuff you come across is just sheer chance, and that's just the whole sheer of the game. Like Stardew Valley and Warframe. Those are 2 games where you have to have a wiki to play because you're looking for specific items, you're looking for specific frames in Warframe or a specific area. Unless you just so happen to come across it within the correct character and the correct time of day, it's stupid. Same with Stardew Valley. Great game. Phenomenal game. Lots of fun. Love it to bits. But you need a wiki to really enjoy it, because if you really want to 100% the games and whatnot, you have to have a wiki to figure out, oh, I'm looking for this specific squid that's at this specific beach, that's on this specific season, that has to be fished at this specific time of day. Like, that's ridiculous. But that's why there's a wiki, and that's why it's the norm. That's why I'm excited for Final Fantasy IV, because I hear nothing but good things about it, and I hear that that is basically the first baseline standard for this kind of series of game, and I heard it was a nice balance, and I look greatly forward to it, where I could just enjoy the game, and I don't have to have my own notes, wiki, walkthrough. I could just straight up just enjoy the game, like how a true Final Fantasy fan would it. And for anyone who's wondering why I started taking notes and opened up the wikis, Final Fantasy 1, there was one point where I didn't record. I completely cut out about 2 hours of gameplay because I was lost. I was straight up just lost and roaming everywhere for no reason. Kind of like anyone who plays Mega Man Battle Network 1 or 2, and a little bit of 3. I recommend you have a bit of a walkthrough because those games were very low on the handheld holding department. Let's see, Final Fantasy IV was released in 1991, 3 years before I was born. So they got it down pretty good, it looks like, in 1 year, right after this game came out. We move on to collectathon games like Super Mario N64, DK64, Crash Bandicoot, Pyro. Those games, yes, are collectathons, and they don't quite tell you where to really find this stuff, but there is a base story to follow along. But they do have at least each and every area itemized to show, hey, in Crash Bandicoot, you missed a gem or two. Okay, you gotta go back until you find every nook and... Or in Spyro, the crystals with the eggs, dragon eggs, that was just standard. For DK64, all the golden bananas or the golden rainbow coins or the banana fairy, whatever. But they were at least grouped up and then segregated to their own specific world. So instead of the game going, hey, you've only collected, 10 out of 12 banana fairies out of the entire freaking game, it at least lets you know, oh, you missed a banana fairy in the toy factory, or you missed a banana fairy in the Aztec desert map. Okay, I just gotta go and look all over that whole map. Yeah, they are large maps, but at least it's not saying like the whole freaking game. That would be ridiculous and obscure. That's just what was expected norms for collectathons at the time. And that was 1996, 1998 to 2003 era of games before they shifted. And now you got new games that came out that are similar to that, like, I forgot I didn't turn that off. Donkey Kong, what's the new Donkey Kong game called? Up. Back, fully, back player, and then back on. What is that new Donkey Kong game? Bonanza. I watched someone play through the whole game, and yes, they obviously skipped a lot, but they got the entire game rushed down to 3 hours. My personal opinion, a collectathon should take well over the ability to crush it down to 3 hours. That's not a collectathon, that's just a carnival ride in my opinion. You are reliving the shadow of a collectathon experience. And that's my problem with a lot of modern games, and it's that it's just not as much effort put into it anymore. But granted, when I watched them play the game looks, beautiful. It looks great. It had a lot of homages to it. It had a lot of good, little fun, sneaky references to it. But the game is just not long. When you look at someone who plays Mario in 64, and I'm not talking about speedrunners or speeding to the end of the game, it takes you several days to play and beat and collect everything. And even Donkey Kong is 64. At the minimum, it's a 36-hour game. Which a lot of people are like, that's too long. Well, yeah, that is a really long game. Because back then, when games came out, they were actually super long games. Games back then were, 20 to 60 bucks, depending on what you're buying for a Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy Color, a Nintendo DS, a N64, a Wii, whatever. It just ranged that much, but they were still fully long, full-fledged games. Like when I played Super Mario, Smash Bros. Oh, what was the Brawl, the third one, and that was a game that took me at least 3 days to beat. But I feel like it had excessive padding in it, where it wasn't more about the game; it was more about just burning time instead of actually being an actual game. And collectathons do have that issue, yes, but at least you still get the game portion of it. With the minor problem of in DK64 was the I remember what it was called. Basically, it's the buddy barrel, where the tag barrel. That's it, the tag barrel. You got to make your Kong touch the barrel to swap out with another Kong. And that was a lot of backtracking that I thought was very much not necessary. that could have been definitely optimized more. And they did put more of them around the entire worlds in their own areas, so you didn't have to leave and come back too much. But it could have been reduced significantly. Now, if you want a game that doesn't have the tag barrel system and is a lot like Donkey Kong 64 and it's super streamlined and vastly built, it's the first Banjo-Tooie game. And they made another game, Banjo-Tooie. I never really got to play that, but I heard that was also a really good game. However, it wasn't as fleshed out or as long as the first one. We are very slowly losing the essence of games in that regard, where we're getting less and less and less. Now, what I heard with Final Fantasy, that's the opposite. I heard they're getting longer and longer, and I hope that they're actually long for gameplay reasons, not padding reasons. Like right now, I've been in the World of Darkness chatting with you guys for, let's say about 3 hours now, and I'm barely making hardly any progress. Just because I hit a level wall. That's an issue. That should not be that significant of a problem. Like, Pokemon has level walls, but they're like gradual as the game goes, where it's like, okay, slow your pace down, you need to explore the caves more, you need to talk to more of the that's fine. But it's just like, it's a drastic jump. But that, like I said way earlier, that was expected during this time period. That just wasn't a flushed out, gamer-tested problem yet. Nowadays, we have so many game testers that are willing to do game testing for next to nothing. I mean that literally, just next to nothing, just to get their name out there, so eventually they can become an actual recognized, named playtester for big corporations with big games that are good Q&A writers, testers, and writing down what they did and how they did it, how they broke the game, so on and so forth. Make games better. Or a playtester just for the simple fact of playing the freaking game, going, hey, when I was going to the World of Shadows and whatnot, I noticed I can't kill anything. Okay, we need to make the boss before that area a little harder. And then kind of trickle down those levels as you go throughout the game of game development. Okay, these guys need to be a little bit higher. This guy needs to be a little bit higher. But do that all the way down. Now, granted, in Final Fantasy II, there was a big jump early on. You saw when I would walk up somewhere, I would get smoked so fast at the beginning of the game. It was ridiculous. I'm sorry so much for the rambling, guys. I'm rambling on to the fact of just prior experience on just years of games and what I think would be a fair denominator on dictating how games should be, to at least a certain extent. Especially in the modern gaming world. Man, the modern gaming world is really, really rough shape right now. That's because you got games that are going over the top or under qualifying. All the new modern Pokemon games, man, they're bare bones minimum. They're bare bones in comparison to what they normally do or have. But there are a few game exceptions out there that I need to play and buy. What's it called? Expedition 33. That was a whole bunch of big game developers that left Ubisoft, if I remember correctly, to make their own game. And I heard they nailed it. I heard it was a fantastic game. That is what we just call the rarity or the blue moon of the gaming world. Just a randomly good game that's not part of any major streamline or whatever, or major AAA studio. It's just, they got into it, they knew what gamers liked, they knew what gamers wanted, they knew what gamers expected, They wanted to hit a home run with it, and they had the vision and the talent to do it, and they did it and nailed it. That's just what I expect anymore. And I'm not dogging on indie developers at all in the slightest. Indie developers are indie developers. Heck, I went and keep playing TCG Car Shop Simulator, which I'm going to be playing more here really soon because they release a lot of updates. And I put out my opinions on what I think that it'd be improved, like the music and whatnot, and then they way did a better job with a lot of other things, which I'll explain in those recordings whenever I actually do them. It's just, that is phenomenal whenever it comes to developers. I love it when I see a developer with a new game idea that actually visions what they want to do with it and are improving it over time to where it becomes basically their pet project. It becomes their baby, the game that's going to define them. Ow. If we look at another game, Schedule 1. Yeah, it's a drug game, and yeah, you don't really want to endorse drugs, but they know how to do their game with a certain level of niche to it. And they're coming back and adding more features, more, guns, more additional items, so to speak, to make the game even more better and longer, but in a good way, an actual gameplay way, a not padded way. And I know I'm gonna get dogged on for this, but I am speaking the whole heart truth on this matter. Halo ODST. Phenomenal game. Beautiful story. Amazing characters. And they really got the vibe down. However, the one fatal flaw that game had was the excessive amount of walking. Like, my god, there is so much walking in that game, and if you go down the wrong road, congratulations, you're going to spend the next 15 to 20 minutes backtracking to get where you were supposed to go to begin with. And that was the only really major flaw I had with that game. It had the grim, the grime, you could die at any minute. You're not Master Chief, you're just a Joe Blow ODST guy. I don't want to say too much for people who actually want to, haven't enjoyed the game yet, because it is really good. It's an experience. It really is. But whenever you get towards the end of that game, it hits a different level of game that you don't really get to experience much. Now, a game I have played that I have recorded all the way from start to finish is Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Probably some of the best gaming experience I ever had in a long time. They had some problems and mistakes in the first game, but they completely ironed them out in the second game. Just completely. Fantastic game, start to finish, with amazing mechanics. The only beef I have with Warner Brothers, for the people who own the Nemesis system. They patented the Nemesis system, packed it up, threw it in the closet, and they don't allow anyone to use it. They're not, renting it out to anybody. They're not, as far I'm aware of, using it for any new of their games. It's tragedy. That's another problem with the modern gaming world. IPs everywhere. If you make anything remotely Pokemon related in AKA Power World, you can see the situation that's going on with them right now. It's ridiculous what Nintendo's doing. Nintendo is a laughingstock shell of its former self. It really is. I don't know what happened. I don't know where they went wrong. I don't know if it's a matter of lack of ingenuity and creativity to make a new game, There were some of the games that came out that I thought were alright, you know, Sun and Moon. I didn't get to play them, but when I saw them, they looked alright. Sword and Shield was a very lackluster game. I got to play that one. It was very minimalistic. It really was. It looked gorgeous to some extent, especially for the 3D game, especially bringing the Pokemon into a 3D plane, a 3D world. But at what cost did it happen? You can tell that Nintendo / the Pokemon Company / Game Freak are not familiar with making games. They just not their niche. But that still shouldn't stop them from making a still top-down style where you can still see the Pokemon roaming the world like they did with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So close to making a perfect remake of the original Gen 1 game, but then they tried to make it like Pokemon Go. They were so close. They had the Babe Ruth of a home run, and they decided to bench him instead. And throw some rookie out there just to swing and miss. Like, you were so close. And then, since it didn't sell well or do well, as far as my understanding, they went with the full 3D, and it's not the same. I'm not saying games like Pokemon Arceus aren't fun, because they are fun. There are a lot of fun things to do in them. And the padding's really not that terrible, except for recapturing the same stuff over and over, or witnessing and battling stuff over and over. That's really padded and repetitive. But what really hurt them the most was their game engine, their own personal game engine. Game graphics of the world, specifically the world, not the the Pokemon models and whatnot. It's awful. It is god awful. It was a very rushed game. It was not flushed out. The game engine they have is not built for it. They need to make a new engine, and they need to make it badly. Like Scarlet and Violet. I played that game quite a bit because it's the closest game I can get to having almost all generations on it, or at least portable, to get every shiny on there that I want to pick. It's a game I pick up every 2 to 3 months at most to play and enjoy. But it's still lacking horribly. And when did Nintendo say about that? They're like, oh, the game runs horribly and it has horrible render distance and blah 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 because of the limitations of the Nintendo Switch. So we fix those limitations for the Nintendo Switch 2, but you have to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 and a Nintendo Switch 2 copy of the game. Why would I do that? It's dumb. Just make it to where the Nintendo Switch 2 can be usable with the Nintendo Switch 1 games. It's backwards compatibility. That's been something that's been used, tried and true for 15 freaking years. The PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and I believe 5 has all the backwards compatibility all the way up to the PlayStation 2, just not the PlayStation 1, I believe. You can correct me if you want, Sony guys, whoever's. And then same with the Xbox One, Xbox One S, Slim, all the new consoles. They have backwards compatibility up to a certain amount. But they don't do anything for the Xbox One. Or just called the Xbox. But PC, they don't have those issues. I'm on my 3rd generation of PC, and I still have all my games that I bought the first one. No issues. None. The only thing PC issue has is that it is expensive as hell. I forgot to turn the counters back on. It is expensive as hell. My first computer cost me like $900, and then I had to drop about another $200 into it to make it into a functional console. because I actually put the wrong size of memory stick into the C drive, or some people don't know, the ISO or OS of Windows 7. And I got blue screen and memory dump issues, because that's how it was. Then I move on to my second PC. I didn't have as many issues as all. I had it for 6 great years. Six great years. Back on. But I put about probably 2.6 to 3.1 grand in that game, but over a 6-year time span. Instead of getting a new console every year. Pushing 3 maybe. But my new PC that I've had for almost about a year, it's about 6 grand. But I haven't put in any new parts or anything in it to expand it at all yet. Because the last thing I did on my old PC, I dropped like $600 to get an 8 terabyte SSD, yes, to put all my games on and de-itemize all my hard drives. Because I had like 8 different hard drives. And I'm like, this is getting too much for wire management and whatnot. So I bought one 8 terabyte SSD and comprised, I think it was like 6 of those hard drives into one. And then moved my other 2 hard drives to a different hard drive for different purposes, like video editing and recording, as you see right here, right now. And eventually I will do more in the future, but it's just not necessary at the moment. And I probably won't have to for a very long time, except for, minor management and improvements to, like, for example, if I gotta replace the water cooler. I never had to do that with my second PC. I had to do that with my first PC. That was because Corsair didn't master water cooling at the time. Now they do a lot better, and they don't have as many issues of pipes out the fluid or drying out, or the pump blades rusting out or breaking or failing or falling apart within a few years time span. The only thing that PC is actually still facing the moment right now is the performance on heat output. That's something they still haven't quite perfected yet. And consoles are no better. They are by far from heat management. Like, my God, they are far from heat management at the moment. Like, my Xbox 360, it had a big old power brick. That thing would get pretty warm, and the console itself would get pretty warm. So what Xbox 360's solution was to keep heat management was to split it between 2 different things. That was hilarious. Where one thing produces heat and another thing produces heat, but at least they're not in the same console together producing heat. That's not a bad idea. And then you got people who are in the PlayStation category, where they make jokes about how when they turn on their PlayStation, it sounds like a jet turbine turning on. That's how it was. That's how it still is to a certain extent. I just find that amazing. It's hilarious. Now, Nintendo doesn't really have that issue because they're like 10 years freaking behind on the technology. That's not a brag. That's not a brag at all. That's like, oh, I'm using modern cooling systems on something that, that's older than most of my kids' player base. That's not a brag. That's quite sad. That is very subpar. That's why I'm not going to be buying a Nintendo Switch. I looked to see if that Donkey Kong Bonanza was going to come to the Switch 1. They're like, it can't handle it. It's going to go to the Switch 2. Okay. I'm not going to buy your console. I'm not going to buy your $600 to $700. If not, it's more now. Give me an. I'll look it up here in a minute. What is the console price now? That's the Switch 1, 2. So, those who don't know, the Donkey Kong Bonanza for the Switch 2, $68.31. And I know it's more than that because Nintendo and wanted like 80 for it. And the reason why it's not that high is because the real retailers are saying, no, go fuck yourself. We're not going to raise the price so you can make more money. So, Nintendo wants $697 for their Switch. And a lot of retailers are bringing it down to $578 for the modern version, or in most cases, $450 or $449. That's sad. What would you rather buy? A 10-year-old piece of hardware already that is aesthetically way behind? Oh, I'm about to die. I'm not paying attention to my people. I should be fine. Would you rather pay, $600 to $700 for equipment that's 10 years old, or spend the same amount of money for a modern Xbox or PlayStation that's playing objectively, not even really objectively, obviously superior games? I mean, you tell me. I mean, my fiance sold her laptop for, about $1,000, and it is about 6-year-old piece of hardware that still outperforms. That's saying a lot. Alright, we're approaching that point where we need to go test to see if we're getting up to standard of beating the next boss. I'll say here about 4 minutes, we'll go fight the other boss. And if there's anybody out there that's like, well, there's nothing else out there like the Switch's portability. Obviously they never found what a PSP was. And Nintendo DS was superior in just about every way. Yes, it's from the same company, but still superior in every way. It had better games, had better connection, had better battery life. And yes, it didn't do as much as the play as good. Yeah, but that's generational difference. It's like 15 years ago. I sure hope your standards have slightly improved in 15 years of managing a game company. Because the reason why the Switch is getting so pissed off is because I think PlayStation is working on their own handheld, but more importantly, PC Steam has made their own Steam Deck that way outperforms the Switch in every way. In every way. And it's roughly almost about the same price. And they're about to come out. They came out with the I believe the Steam Deck OLED or something like that, something similar to like the Chaz. I'm trying to remember what it was, but they're about to come out with a Switch 2, not Switch 2, but a Steam Deck 2, and it's supposed to be even better. And it makes Nintendo look so. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I can buy, whenever it comes out, I can either buy the Steam Deck 1 now, or buy whenever the Steam Deck 2 comes out. Connect to my Steam account. Find these 6 games on sale. 6 games on sale for like $40. So $40 divided by 6 games. And I can play these games anywhere, anytime on that handheld device that is way overkill for this hardware, in my opinion. Or I can just switch over and play Shadow of War. I could play... I'm trying to think of games that are more handheld friendly. What I mean by that is housing board. I could play GTA. Really, coming up on that. Ghost of Tsushima, Elden Ring, Space Marines 1 and 2, Dark Tide, Heroes of the Storm, Golf with Your Friends. Steam has an exceptionally larger game library than Nintendo. Like, not even a joke. I play the new Spider-Man game. I bet the Steam Deck 2, I bet we'll be able to play it, handle it. The Doom games, no issue. What game was it they tried to showcase? Oh yeah, it was Elden Ring on the Switch 2. The people from FromSoft that make Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Elden Ring, and Bloodborne and all that, they refused to release gameplay footage on the Switch 2 because it was that bad, that pathetic. We're talking about like 12 frames a second. That is horrendous. And that brings me all back to, the whole... That's the state of games nowadays. Alright, enough rambling, enough ranting, enough dogging on Nintendo and its malpractice problems. We're at the 1 hour and 20 minute mark. We're gonna go see if we can beat one of the bosses. It's been almost about an hour grinding. An hour of me just trying to, burn off my brain and just grind away and chat with you guys. Hopefully the subject was important enough in my perspective on it. Alright, you're in attack. Everyone has a lot of health. Let's just see what happens. Of course, he would hit me right out of the gate. Fine, that's fine, that's fine. Oh, almost glazed him his life. Yeah, we got him. The 1 hour paid off. I'm the warrior dark, blah 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 blah. Yeah, combine clouds, go out there. Like restore the hope of the will of light, blah blah blah, bounce on the darkness. Okay, so it is slightly changed. Alright, go to room number 4, see if we're qualified. Probably not. Saying that now. Probably not. This dragon hits hard. He hits like a freaking truck. This guy has to not have much health. He hits that freaking hard. He is hard. Gotta be a gimmick though. Like something I'm not catching, like he's like super weak to wind damage or something. It, Alright, it's study time. Come on, roll back. Get away from me, Walmart. Final Fantasy 3 in Rat Game. So it looks like it's just straight up saying that I'm not strong enough yet. You know what that means? Back to grinding. Woo! And another half hour of grinding. At least we're at the 3/4 mark of this place. I'm really worried about how mean the final boss is going to be. If I have to defeat these guys and I'm struggling this bad, it's going to be a rough time. One shot each, that's what I like to see. I'll make leveling up way faster than you. Love what you guys fun. Almost in their 60. At least my health is high enough where my guys are not going to get one shot when they get double team Kages. Eggs. I think they're called Kages, though. No one said anything yet, but do you guys like the new camera? Where it's, you know, in the bottom right corner and I'm kind of shrunk down and out of the way. I don't have that big old atrocious sized box upper left hand corner anymore. Early 2000s, that was like the future of gaming recording. Having a big old foam board and that. Had that for a long time. Now they're actually in front of me. They're actually on the walls to prevent my voice from bouncing off the wall and getting picked up again. I'm at 2 million Jill now. 2 million. That's what I like to see. One shot, one kill. Yeah. And my main guy is almost level 60. Ow. 2 critical hits. Damn. 2,800 each. I would find it funny if Chaos shows up again at the end of this game, but I don't think so. It's gonna be that cloud thing again. And once I beat it, I will win. Everyone's at 3,000 health now, at least. Everyone jobs at 50s. And I've been here this long. Everything was like maybe 18 or 12 or something like that. Now everything's all 50 job. I wonder, did the one in the back have less health than the 4,000? Was very suspicious. Starting to get more comfortable on fighting. It would help if I turn the encounters back on. Like, man, I've been back and forth like 3 times. They're getting suspicious. I just got done getting rid of the poison. Why are you guys like this? "15 minutes left." Hit like trucks. Oh no. That was a very weird setup. Another back attack? $5,000. Almost 6,000. Saying he has more than 10,000 health. We're almost at the 10-minute mark. Ah. It's like their damage is not going down at all. They're just hitting that freaking hard. That is crazy. Alright. A few more minutes and then we'll go test our new levels on the dragon. I doubt we're gonna win because that dragon hits really freaking hard. We're kind of in the position of we can't really do much against the dragon until we can start surviving hits. Because he's just like, you're done. Look over at another person, hit him, you're done. 5,000 damage is insane. That's with all this equipment on. Imagine if I was wearing basic armor, it would probably be like 10,000 damage or something like that. Something just insane number. Almost about to level up one of my people, so. Okay, heal up and then let's go. Dead. Only one trick in my arsenal that I can use. He is doing less damage, I noticed. It's better than we've been doing. Better than we've been doing. We'll try one more time and then we'll end in today's episode. I want you to attack. You have a rise. You have a rise. Hit flare. You hit holy. You hit flare. It's so hard. We're just gonna body our way through this. That's the only way I've seen this going down. Oh. Oh my god! We did it! I can't believe we beat the twin-headed dragon! That is crazy. Where darker our world is going to the void, one day we'll return to it. No force will keep the nothingness at bay. Hope void is inevitable. Someday it will consume everything, but today is not the day. And while there is still hope and love in the world of light and dark, as long as there is hope, the void cannot win. Do the powers of the dark and light defeat the forces that is calling forth the void. Alright, now we gotta go to the final area just to see what happens. Since we did all 4 crystals finally. After 3.5 hours of grinding. I know we're going to be doing more grinding. That's inevitable. That's going to happen. But I just want to see what happens with knights and whatnot. I don't see anything. For the cloud of darkness, bringer of wrath and destroyer of light, you and your world will be sacrificed to the void. Not if we have anything to say about it. Ha! In this world of darkness, do you think the powers of light can defeat us in our own land? Or night spawn? Okay. Their light alone may not be enough, but our power of darkness can suppress your evil. You will be willing to sacrifice your lives for the light? Fools! We will not let you reduce the world to nothing. Your demise is none of our concern. The crystals of darkness may be gone, but we have no need of them any longer. We will defeat you and absorb the power of light. The world will become the void. This is where you die, warriors of light. Wonder what that does to them. Alright, let's just swing them for the hills, see what happens. $4,000 hit, we're actually doing damage now. Didn't kill us. I wonder if we just straight up just... see what happens when we put that on auto. Okay, one of the healers is gonna die. The way I built this team on purpose. I wonder how much health this person has. Finally goes down. As long as we stay at this repetition, we're doing pretty good. Putting out a lot of damage. You serious? First try? Your minions were tougher. In the beginning, there was a void. Then came light and darkness. From then, everything was born. The heavens, skies, water, fire, life. Time inexorably brings all back to its beginnings. But from life, something new was born. A shining force to separate the light from the dark and illuminated the world, called hope. When the balance between light and dark is broken and the world again slides towards oblivion, the chosen will appear once more. Do not forget that the source of warriors' powers is the hope that lives inside us all. Dreams, fair, love. Time can obscure it all. Do not accept this. Do not forget it. And time will never erase what life has to offer. Find your last remaining spark of light, a light that shines brightly when all else is dark, the light of hope. You're all still here. Dstapp, razzle dazzle, magic hands, Steve. You did it. Well done. No doubt you're the true heroes of this story. Not half bad. Come on, it's time to go home. I wonder if the princess is still waiting for him. Been a pleasure. Pleasure's all ours, but I think it's about time I return to Amor. Oh, we're dropping off all our people. Fellas, you're back safe and sound. Of course, barely broke a sweat. Without your help, we never could have made it. Thank you. Haha, if you ever need help, we're heroes. We heroes will be here. Come and train with us anytime until we meet again. Alright, man. We reached Chernoya. I suppose I must return. Thank you for everything, Your Highness. Oh, I mean, Your Majesty. I was your light that saved our... It was your light that saved the world. It is I who should be thanking you, brave warriors. If I can lead my kingdom with even half the courage you've shown, I will be content. Have my sincere thanks. Or the little speed one now. And this is my stop. My wife's probably worried sick. Wait, I'll get off here too. Why do you want to stop in Canaan-ish? Well, I just wanted to check in on someone. The girl that likes him. Oh, fine, it's Salino, okay? Oh, you wanted to see her? How sweet. Oh, come on, leave me alone. Go get her, Tiger. Dropped him off in the ocean. Honey, oh dear, not in front of your friends. You're embarrassing me. Liana. Yeesh, please don't ever leave me again. Never, I promise. Come on, honey, we can't let these kids show us up now, can we? Oh, fine, just one kiss then. Whoops, got a little carried away. Sorry about that. Let me know if you need any more let me know if you go on any more adventures. I could always lend a hand. Oh, no, you don't. Looks like you're not going anywhere for a while, Dish. Don't rub it in. Welcome back here anytime. Besides, you still gotta try my wife's cooking. Thank you, Sid. Dish. We'll see you later. So we'll head back to Sassoon now, Your Highness. Can I stay with you? I don't want to go home just yet. But Princess Sarah, don't you understand? I want to stay with you. Oh, did I embarrass you? Come, let's go to Ur. It's Ur. We're home. Oh, I can't wait to see where you grew up. Welcome back. Oh, Dstapp, Razzle Dazzle, Magic Hand, Steve, you're home. We did it, Topa, Nina. Well, I always knew you were destined to do great things. We're proud of you. Welcome home. You saved the world. Wow, you're amazing. I guess they weren't joking about you being the Warriors of Light. Heroes get a kiss from me, pucker up. Not so fast. Oops. The world is now safe from the darkness. All this thanks to your pure hearts. Thank you, Warriors of Light. He's shaking. Oh, look, the light. The crystal is back to its former brilliance. It's beautiful. The darkness has disappeared and a new dawn has come. To the fans across the globe, both past and present, into the who bought into the originals to life, we offer our profound and heartfelt thanks. And that's the end of Final Fantasy III. Game 3, Part 9, end. I'm your host, Dstapp BootStrapp, and I will see you in Final Fantasy IV. Till next then.